So while most people are thinking about serverless computing from the perspective of the benefits of the function-driven programming or function-based programming, the ability to immediately respond to any number of requests coming into the system and then deploy them back out because you're just focused on the request processing stream, there are a lot of applications that can really make good use of that, but there are plenty that can't. And so I think it's important when you're thinking about an application architecture to really determine what your goals are, what is the application supposed to be doing, rather than just saying, oh, this is a technology, I want to go implement this. There is overhead to serverless, and one of the sessions at the recent DFrag conference I think really highlighted this. There is still operations that has to happen in the serverless space. So you have to be aware of that and not just say, oh, this is the new technology and let's go use it. There are other ways to do event-based processing. Functions are not the only way to do that. And often the overhead of adding the additional operations into the environment can become a problem. It can become a negative. So you really have to look at all the different pieces of your application environment as a whole, rather than just saying, oh, this is the cool new technology. Now, if your team is big enough, if you have enough different groups doing different pieces of the puzzle, and you've microservice segmented your application environment, then deciding to use a serverless technology for some of your event processing is great. It might be the exact right thing. It gives you the ability to rapidly scale without having to focus on scaling as a part of your application development cycle for that function. And I think that's one of those decision-making processes. Is that an important piece? Is your scaling likely to be very dynamic, very rapid, based on the vagaries of an environment that you don't yet understand? Function-based programming and that sort of automatic management of the function running environment is important, but it does add operations overhead. And that to me is really something that can't be overstressed. You still have to consider your application and what happens over time. Now, bad programming practices can still come into play and can still bite you in the long run. Maybe if you don't have that big of a load, you're not going to see it because other things sort of overcome those sorts of issues, like automatic restart of long-running container processes, sort of underlying processes underneath the functional programming system. So as long as we take those pieces into effect, functional programming and the serverless system space can really be a very powerful component. It just bears thinking about it from the perspective of what does your application really require. We at Kumulus tend to focus on that anyway. That's really our goal, is to say, what is it that you're really trying to accomplish? What pieces of the puzzle can we help you find to pull all this together? And this is another one of those concepts that we like to continue to stress. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube if you like this content. We have a Facebook page as well, so if Facebook is your medium, we do post content there as well. And follow us on Twitter, because we try to keep up to date with what's going on in the community over time on Twitter as well. Thanks so much for watching, and tune in tomorrow for another episode.